There are less than 30 days left in 2025, and I want you to think back to you this past January and think about the goals that you set back then. Are you happy with the progress that you've made, or have you kind of fallen off? Regardless of your answer, don't panic because we do have a little bit of time left yet to finish off the year strong. Today, I'm giving you my 8-step plan to ensure that I end off 2025 strong and on a high note. I've fallen off the wagon with a few of my goals, so this 8-step plan is intended to help me finish the year strong, and so I don't end up honestly disappointed by the year that was 2025. We are going to start with finances, and you might be saying, Katrina, what do finances have to do with health? They have everything to do with health, because if you have financial anxiety or you're stressed about money, you are not going to be healthy, because the stress and anxiety that can be generated from money trouble is very detrimental to your health. So what I asked myself is, what is the biggest thing getting in the way of my financial health? And for me personally, it's not knowing 100% where every dollar that I make is going. I make a decent salary, and so does my husband, but I still have this just underlying anxiety about money and not knowing exactly where everything is going, not sure 100% where we're sitting. And honestly, it's because I'm not tracking anything. And in addition to that, because I don't track anything, because I have this anxiety, I tend to not want to spend money because I don't know if I should or not. Here is what I'm going to do in the final month of the year. Start tracking my expenses so I know where every dollar is going, so I don't have this anxiety that comes with the uncertainty of my financial situation. You might be in the same boat. You might need to start tracking your finances as well. Maybe you need to get a spending habit under control. Maybe you need to assess what you have on the books for debt. Whatever you need to do to take charge of your financial health, I encourage you to do that, because like I said, if you are stressed about money, that is going to impact your health. Number 2 is fitness. Of course, we want to end the year strong in regards to our health and fitness goals, so we cannot leave this not talked about in this video. When I started 2025, 2 of my goals were 1, to squat my body weight, and 2, to be able to do 5 pull-ups unassisted and unbroken. Did I achieve either of those goals? No. Am I anywhere near achieving those goals? Also no. During this year, I feel like my health and fitness goals, I kind of got sidetracked a little bit, and it took away from what my initially set goals were. So I want to make sure that I'm ending off the year literally and figuratively strong. I want to start working on increasing my back squat, because right now I feel incredibly weak, especially from a knee injury earlier this year. And on the pull-up side of things, honestly, I haven't tried to do a pull-up in months. I have a home gym which does not have a pull-up bar, so I actually practice my pull-ups in my barn outside, and it's not on my radar at all. I haven't practiced it. Last time I tried, I think I could do 3.5 pull-ups, but like I said, it has been a long time. So I'm gonna put those 2 things back into focus for the end of this year. If you're someone that has completely fallen off when it comes to health and fitness, or maybe you even didn't get on the wagon to start with, start small. You don't need to be doing the same sort of routine that I'm doing, because that's a lot for someone just starting out. If you want to start running, or if you want to maybe try going to a gym, like try it once a week. Set a goal of the bar very low. Again, we only have less than 30 days. You can still achieve things like that, but I want you to set yourself up for success. And a big thing right now is setting up those habits. I know they say that it takes 21 days to establish a habit. Whether or not that's true, or whether that applies to habits across the board, I highly doubt it. But definitely, 30 days, the month of December, is a good enough amount of time to start establishing some positive health and fitness goals that'll help you out come 2026. Next is sleep. And if you're like me, you're probably sick and tired of hearing people say that you need to improve your sleep. I honestly just want to take a pill and just have all the issues with not getting enough sleep be resolved. But obviously that's not going to be the case. So for me, in the category of sleep, I know my biggest problem is duration. I get up very early in the morning to ensure that I can have a good breakfast, work out, and then get to work on time. That necessitates that I have a very early bedtime, which I have struggled with, mostly in part to scrolling on my phone on Instagram. Not only is that light in your eyes bad when you're trying to go to sleep, it's giving your body the entirely wrong signal, but it's just brain rotting, right? Like, it would be so much better for me if I was reading a book or just hanging out with my husband, anything but scrolling on Instagram. And I have found during this struggle that I am very much all or nothing with this. There's no saying just 5 minutes or just 10 minutes. I will say that to myself, but it always ends up being longer. So I think in the name of getting more sleep, I need to say no Instagram before bed at all. So for you guys in the category of sleep, you might need to figure out duration. So figuring out your bedtime and wake up time, making sure those are consistent day to day, because that's really important for circadian rhythms. It might be improving your sleep environment. So making sure you have a good pillow, a good mattress, clean air in your bedroom, appropriate temperature. Like me, it might be getting off social media, getting off your phone. For some of you, it might be cutting off caffeine earlier in the day so that you don't feel wired right before bed. Whatever it is, I'm sure all of you, regardless of who is watching this, can improve their sleep, so please do so. Number 4 is hygiene, which may be weird, but yes, it's something that I want to improve before the end of the year is my hygiene. For most of my adult life, I have struggled with acne, and I had always made the assumption that it was hormonal, especially given that we've had fertility issues. I just thought my hormones are out of whack. But I honestly think a lot of it actually stems to hygiene in how I'm washing and taking care of my skin, when I'm cleaning my ball caps, how often I'm changing up my pillowcase or my towels, how often I'm cleaning my makeup brushes. All of those things can impact your face and whether or not you're breaking out or not. And I know I definitely have room for improvement in that area. For the rest of the year, I do have a goal of just upping up my hygiene game, particularly with an interest of fixing my acne once and for all. It may not work. There may be other issues underlying that are causing my acne, but at least if I clean this up, do a bit better with all of that, then I'll at least know that it's not a hygiene issue and that it's something else that needs to be addressed. I'm an introvert, and I've very much identified with that label for my entire life. I'm also I don't know if I still am, very shy, which, as far as I know, there is a difference between being shy and being introverted. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is my social circle, my social activities, it is very limited, and it's something that I'm wanting to improve. For the longest time, I've heard you can't change your personality, but I've actually started doing some research into the deliberate act of changing your personality. And some people do believe that yes, there are things that you can do in this case to go from being introverted to being a bit more extroverted. I am fully aware that I'm never going to be a fully extroverted person. I'm not going to be that social butterfly. I'm not going to look forward to social events. Like, that's just not me. But I think there is a space for me to move from a very rigid introvert to something a bit more moderate. And one way that I'm hoping to do that in the course of the next month is to start taking some fitness classes. Right now, I work out from home in my one little room in my basement. It's very, very secluded. Obviously, no human contact. And I think because I enjoy fitness, I think this is an easy entry point for me to get a bit more social interaction with people that have common interests. And so that's kind of what I'm aiming for in this last month of 2025 in terms of my social game. Just getting out there and just, trying to be a bit more social. I don't really have any expectations of taking those fitness classes other than just to get out there with people, and then whatever happens will happen. Given that we are so close to Christmas now, I think it's a perfect time of year if you are also wanting to be a bit more social. I don't know what it is. I was talking to our receptionist at work about this, and she's probably 10 to 15 years older than I am. And we are both just saying how we are very much in this world of we get up, we go to work, we come home, we have supper, maybe do a bit of a hobby or watch TV, go to bed, repeat. There's a lot less social interaction. I don't know if that is a result of the pandemic and just a different world that we're living in, but we both kind of felt that. And I think, yeah, Christmas is an easy time to become more social. There's tons of events going on, tons of friend and family gatherings, things out in the community. So if you haven't already, try to bookmark a few social things before the end of the year hits. This year, I made the decision to hire a coach who happens to be a registered dietitian. So shout out to Sammy. I know a lot about nutrition. I know a lot. I had an eating disorder back in the day. And one of the things back then is I was obsessed with learning about all things health, fitness, nutrition. So I have a lot of nutrition information bopping around in my brain. The problem is I have a hard time being accountable when I am, trying to coach myself, so to speak. I know that I need to do XYZ to achieve ABC goal. The follow through and accountability of actually doing those things has been the piece that I've struggled with. I know what to do. It's just getting myself to do it with no external accountability has been very hard. Some of my goals with my health this year and going forward into 2026 are getting stronger. So as I discussed in the fitness portion, getting my back squat up, doing more pull-ups. So getting strong, but also improving my hormonal health. And there's a certain way of eating that needs to be done in order to achieve those goals. One of those things is eating in a caloric surplus. And someone who has an eating disorder background, it's hard. I do have, I want to be strong. I want my hormonal health. So I do have those things pushing me along and, pushing me to be it's okay to be in a caloric surplus because those are your goals and that's what they require. But there's also just societal baggage and body image stuff and just the unknown of eating more and gaining a bit of weight that really plays with your mind. Having a coach helps with that substantially. Now, I'm not saying that you all need to go out, hire a coach, although I will say you might want to consider it because it can be very, very beneficial. At the very least, I would say just assess your current nutrition habits and is there anything that you can improve before the end of the year? Are you getting in enough protein? Are you eating your fruits and vegetables? Are you getting some healthy fats in? Are you eating enough? This time of year in December, there's lots of goodies around. I'm not saying you need to deprive yourself of that, but just be mindful of what you're eating this time of year. And yeah, I'm not going to give you any specific nutrition advice other than, eat your protein, eat your fruits and vegetables, supplement as needed, but you know what your body needs and what you maybe should or should not be doing on the nutrition front. So I would say just assess that and tweak as necessary. So this next category might turn some of you off. If it does, I don't care. If you're that kind of a person, then we will see you later. Spirituality. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this here on YouTube, but I am Catholic and my faith is very important to me. And before I go any further, I'm not going to try and evangelize you into becoming Catholic, although we would love to have you. But I did want to bring up spirituality because I think it is really important to have that as kind of a backbone of your life, a set of values and beliefs that are guiding you in your day-to-day decisions and maybe just also in your bigger life decisions. I think it's really important to have some sort of spirituality, religion behind that. I think spirituality gives you maybe a greater sense of purpose or perspective or just solid rules to live by that I think everyone in this crazy world needs. So for me, with my Catholicism, I go to Mass once a week, and it's an hour out of my week where my phone is literally turned off. It's not even just on vibrate, it is off, and I'm just there in the pews with my thoughts, with the Lord, with other people who have the same beliefs as me. It's a very refreshing, peaceful time, and something that I think is very necessary. For the rest of the year, I am also hoping to adopt some sort of prayer practice. I've gone through phases where I've had a prayer practice where I'll do some sort of 10-minute thing in my mornings. I don't have anything like that right now, and that's definitely something that I would like to adopt. If you're not into spirituality, I would maybe consider some sort of journaling or meditation in the morning, just something to kind of be a bit peaceful. It acts as a bit of stress management and just something solid to launch pad you into your day, I think is really important. I think being outside helps too. Just getting out in nature, feeling that peace. I mean, I live on 150 acres where I can walk wherever. It is very peaceful. For the most part, it's very quiet. You may not have that, but I think there is, regardless of where you are, something about getting outside, being in nature that is just good for the soul, and something that I think every human being should try to get in a little bit every single day. And number 8 is fun. And I felt like I really needed to include this here because with the topics that I've been talking about lately, I feel like they're very structured, and there's not a lot of fun like there could be with goal setting, getting excited about achieving goals and things like that. But I feel like it's just the self-help, personal development, improvement space, I think just by nature is not, you wouldn't describe it as fun, right? And I encourage you to have fun. Again, there's a ton of things going on this time of year for Christmas that can be just festive and fun. I really want you to lean into that. Just enjoy this festive season, this holiday season. Enjoy time with friends and family. Get out and do some fun things. Watch fun holiday movies. Build gingerbread houses. I don't know what it is. I want you to have fun. If you're in a place where winter's actually there, go skiing, go skating, have fun. And those are the 8 tweaks that I'm going to be making in my life for the rest of the year, with the hopes that when we roll around to 2026, I'll be feeling like I'm in a good spot. I've made good progress in what little is left of December, and that I can kind of start the new year feeling optimistic that improvement and progress is possible, because that's really what I crave right now. I feel like I've been very, very stagnant for a long time, and I think making these 8 tweaks here in December will just help push me along into the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next week. Bye.